What are the two key ingredients required for a policy to succeed? They are institutional mechanisms and backing of political will. Both need to act in tandem, otherwise, failure is just too glaring and is too down the abyss. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Piyush, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English channel yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story, in this video, I will tell you how Shaktikanta Das and Modi government have together held our economy uptight. Let's begin. When Shaktikanta Das was appointed as governor of RBI, experts on economy expressed their reservations. Das was not an economist to begin with, and in fact, he was a major in history from Delhi University. In colloquial terms, he was an economist enthusiast. People were worried whether an IAS officer would be able to handle complex central banking. Nearly 4 years down the line, Das has proved everyone wrong. When he took over from Urjit Patel, RBI was extremely conservative with respect to lending and other policies promoting growth in the economy. It was the need of the hour, as his predecessors did not want to get a bad rep for the NPA crisis. Lending was too difficult to carry out, and a talk of introducing Islamic banking, which virtually prohibits interest on lending, was the talk of the town. Flow of money was restricted in the economy. In his first stint, Das focused on growth and brought down the interest rates to push money into the economy. Within 2 years, the RBI cut the repo rate by 135 basis points. The rate cut was in line with a accommodative stance, which is aimed towards promoting business prospects and jobs in the country. But even then, banks were fearful of lending due to tighter norms introduced by Das's predecessor. Given the fact that the Modi government was focused towards uplifting the MSME sector, a huge change in central bank's policy regarding lending was the need of the hour. MSMEs can't run without taking credit from banks. Das eased out the NPA declaration rules for MSMEs with loans up to 25 crore rupees. On the supply side, Das liberalized the prompt, cohesive action regime which regards to lending. RBI put 11 public sector banks under PCA and asked them to stop lending until their balance sheets were healthy. The credit by these banks dried up and the banks improved their balance sheet, but the regulator was not ready to release them from the PCA until the entry of Das. Under Das, not only did RBI take care of public borrowing requirement, but also ensured that when the government borrows, it has to pay low interest rates. Das used tactics like infusing liquidity on the eve of auction of government securities, keeping inflation in check, rejecting bids not favorable to assist the government. In his first stint, the Modi government borrowed more than 12.60 lakh crore rupees, and the process could never have been smoother. When the corona pandemic struck during his second term, Das took a leaf out of his bureaucrat's manual and went on a spree of resuscitating the economy. RBI took more than 100 measures, which include reducing the repo rate by 115 basis points. RBI also reduced interest rates under liquidity adjustment facility by 155 basis points. Banks were allowed to borrow 1,37,000 crore rupees more under the marginal standing facility. RBI also judiciously utilized long-term repo operations to increase liquidity in the market. RBI's total contribution to liquidity in the economy during the period was 17.2 lakh crore rupees. Loan moratorium, asset classification standstill, easing of working capital financing and deferment of interest, restructuring of advances to MSMEs were some of the key measures directly benefiting average Indians. When the effects of pandemic subsided, the world was looking dark into the abyss of inflation. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh crises further raised the fears, but RBI ensured that the country is in good shape. When Das took charge, India's forex reserves were hovering between $400 to $425 billion. Today, we have the fourth largest forex reserve in the world. India is the only major economy in the world which won't be affected by global headwinds of American recession. Appointment of Shaktikanta Das a former Economics Affairs Secretary, was termed as frightening for the autonomy of institutions by Abhijit Banerjee. Even Subrahmanyam Swamy was apprehensive and went to the extent to call him corrupt. But in 2022, numbers are speaking for Das, but these experts are not.